Hey, welcome back. It's been a while since I put out a video, but it's mid-April, and let's talk about jig fishing for crappie. I'm going to have a video coming up snatching some crappie out of Lake Waxahachie. And right now, we are in the pre-spawn, the spawn, probably 50% over with. But this is kind of getting to be my favorite time, is after the spawn, the post-spawn. And man, I like to go target the treetops, brush piles. And I'm not a big fan of shooting docks. We don't have a lot of docks here in the area that lakes that I fish. But it is fun to go fish those treetops and drop some jigs down. So let's talk about jigs. The jigs that I don't have a whole lot of jigs. I've been on the water for the last 35 years fishing. I used to be that guy that had 20, 30 color jigs, but at the end of the day, I only used 2 or 3. And I finally learned that, what you're really chasing is the active fish. But don't be chasing lures. That's what the CFOs with the Bass Pro Shops and the academies want to do at Walmart. Put money in their pocket. Bottom line, you only need a handful of colors and maybe of different profile size. But for the most part, I say keep it simple. Don't be cluttering your tackle box with all kinds of crap. So let's look at my jig box, and you'll see that's pretty simple. So big 3 things I like to think about: light intensity, water clarity, and bait profile. Those are probably my 3 biggest things, and that's going to determine what kind of jig I'm going to fish. And I've kind of switched over to the crappie magnets. Not sponsored by them or anything, but they can if they want. But a few primary colors I like to fish with. This one here is called Show Enough Chartreuse. Kind of a white with a green tail. I'll pull it out, maybe see it a little better. Real nice and oily. So that's one profile and one color. The next color I have that in. This one is a Fast Lane, and it's more of a blue, silver flake, kind of clear, but still a light color. And so these 2 will probably be more of my clearer water if it's brighter out. So I'm going to try these first. Then I also have another one that's kind of for your clear water, semi-stain. And it's showing up, but it don't have no firetail, it's just one color. More of a salt pepper, maybe. Whitish. So those are my light colors. And then one of my favorite colors is the water gets a little bit cloudier, stained, darker, overcast. This one is called the Midnight Blue. And this one is 50 pack. I think I paid back then maybe $6. I like buying the crappie magnets because I think for $6 for 50 jigs, I mean, you can't beat that. But man, here's a bass fisherman, I love that color right there for worm fishing. But jigs and crappie, woo, good. What else do we have? To the next one. Oh, one of my all-time favorites, Springtime. This again, another 50 pack, red chartreuse. This is probably one of my favorites during the last fishing spawn time. Back in the day with a Pop and Barber, the 16th ounce jig, man, that was a killer bait, especially in East Texas, the lily pads and stuff in their spawn. What's next we have? Okay, then we step up in size. Now these is more targeted for the big water, deep water crappie. These are Bobby Garland's 3-inch slab slayers. I've got black and chartreuse, white, and I got one left over silver. Probably one of my favorite ones. I like fishing these when I'm fishing, let's say 20 feet, 25, 30 feet, and them crappie are hanging deep, and they're feeding on big shad. I'm talking about big shad. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 inch shad. I've actually caught crappie 4-inch shad sticking out their mouth. So that talked about the profile. Quite a bit difference in this profile. Maybe I'll put it up. I grab one of these small ones that you can see a difference in the profile. Quite a bit difference in that jig, but if you think about it, this is about the size of a minnow if he's going to go buy a minnow, so it's not that big. I almost sometimes wish I would have fished a little bigger. But anyway, that's it. That is all I have. Then I have a junk bag when I use a jig, put it back up. But that's it. So I have these large profiles, which I usually have 3 colors. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors, and that covers any kind of water, or clear, semi-clear, halfway stained to just muddy water, and then the light conditions, and then small jigs, and then the big ones. And that's all you need. Don't, like I say, don't be that guy that has 50 jigs, because at the end of the day, you only fish with 2 or 3 different colors, and that's it. And then as far as jig heads, I would like to fish 1/4 ounce because of the wind that's here, but sometimes the fish are a little bit sensitive to the size of head and hook. But if I'm fishing the 3-inch slayers and fishing deep water, I'm always going to try that 1/4 ounce jig head. And this one here, I pour my own lead, so I'll take it out of the pack. Well, this one's 1/4 ounce with a size 1. That way if I want to put a smaller jig profile but a bigger head, I can. Now, I always like the color of black. It's got a good contrast to the other colors. But for the most part, I like fishing a 1/8 ounce. This one is at a pour 1/8 ounce size 1. Makes a good jig for these crappie magnets. Got the sickle hook, and these things are super sharp. I would say the downside is they don't bend very easy. They probably break off more. So if you're fishing a lot of trees that you may tend to hang up, then you might want to use a gold Aberdeen hook style. So anyway, we're just going to take and thread that into the body. And that's one thing I like about these jigs. They're solid body, so they don't come off. But man, that is just a deadly combination. It's got these split tails. And what I have found is you want to find the active fish. Don't fish for fish that's not active. Find the biting fish and then move. Now if you have fish, especially those guys who have live scope, you can make that fish come look at that jig. You kind of keep moving it. If he doesn't take it, something may be a little off. You may need to go down in size jig head or try a different color. And on Lake Waxahachie, I had to do that. First 15 minutes, they come up, look at it, go down. I tried swinging the jig, jigging it, pulling it away from them, just could not get them to commit, but they just come out, look at it. So I knew I could get those fish to bite. And what color I ended up getting them was on this blue, light blue color, iridescent, almost see-through jig. And the reason they were keying on that color, the shad that was coming into those trees, just big clouds of them, and that's what those crappie were keying on. Once I changed over that, then I didn't have to work as hard for them. Even though they were finicky, but I ended up putting a nice mess of fish in. In fact, I got to go clean fish. And I might even show you how we clean crappie, and I'll vacuum seal them and put them away. But anyway, hope you enjoy this little tidbit. Don't overwhelm yourself with a whole bunch of jig colors, because at the end of the day, you only gonna fish with a few. And go and catch the active fish. Don't go chasing baits trying to catch that bite. That's what your CEO is gonna want. Put money in their back pocket. Keep it simple. Fish is fish. Think about sunlight, water clarity, and bait profile. And if you keep it down, dummy it down, you'll do good. Now for the guys who are shooting docks, or you want to start shooting docks, you probably want to go down to a 1/16 ounce, lighter line. You want that jig to stay in the strike zone as long as you can, because you're in a little bit shallow water. You may be fishing 4 foot or shallower. So, but like I said, we don't have that many docks around on these lakes, so I just stay away from them. Plus, I want to give the fish a chance to spawn, do the thing, and get back out there so we have more fish for the next few years. So that conservation, and you got to have a conversation in order to talk about conservation. Say that a couple times, it's a tongue twister, huh? Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. It took 2 hours fishing and tried to condense it down. I didn't put all the footage on there, but you'll get my drift on Lake Waxahachie. And the water temperature is roughly about 72. And so like I said, I think we're halfway through the spawn. But anyway, hope you like the video. Click like, share, and subscribe. And I'll have some more videos coming out. Hopefully on some crappie, how I fillet them, how I put them up, vacuum seal them versus freezing them in the water like the old school days. Anyway, hope you enjoy the videos. Click like, share, and subscribe. Pinpoint Fishing, and we have many more to come. Thank you. Enjoy.